All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our presentation. Again, my name is Angelica Sepulveda. I'm the community rep at Lincoln Park High School, so I'm on the culture and climate team. Lincoln Park High School is unique in that it's a community high school. So we have students from our neighborhood, Park, but we also have a magnet program, so students come from almost every zip code in the city. Lincoln Park has over 2,000 students and is 32% white, 21% African American, 33% Latinx, and 10% Asian. We have some work to do, though. That's what this presentation is about. According to our school data, 547 freshmen, we have 104 African American males who are off track and 33 Latino males who are off track. And then out of 465 sophomores, 107 African American males are off track, and 52 Latino or Latinx males are deemed off track. So, what does off track actually mean? We've learned through studies that 2 Fs in 9th grade decrease the probability of graduating by over 50%. So that brings down your probability of graduating from roughly like 85 to 33%. And then by sophomore year, we know that this issue just continues to compound. So what is our school doing to ensure these young folks aren't falling through the cracks? So our theory of change states that we want to create strong relationships with off-track African American and Latino freshmen and sophomore male students and teachers. We want to create a mentorship program, so staff mentors will serve as student advocates for the students to ensure their success both academically and emotionally. Students will begin to feel a sense of belonging and a sense of purpose at school. We will see this through surveys and also by seeing an increase in students participating and engaging in class discussions, joining sports, joining clubs, increase in their grades and attendance, and also being able to themselves by bringing their ideas to the table when working with mentors and teachers. In general, we're just going to see a more positive vibe in the hallways. People are going to be saying hi to teachers and talking to them. So we held in-person interviews with groups of 4 to 5 off-track students and multiple staff members in little groups. A lot of staff members that we're interviewing were folks from our BHT, behavioral health team, many of whom already have a good rapport with these students. And then we found through these interviews that there's a lack of excitement from the students. Sometimes they just say, I'm just sitting there in class and the teacher's talking to me. It's not very engaging. Students don't always believe that teachers are always equipped and ready to talk about race or tough subjects. Students don't always know how to advocate for themselves. So sometimes if they have enough, they say, well, I'm just not going to go to class anymore. Instead of talking to the teacher and building those relationships and talking about how they can get their assignments in. Students have said that there's not always an understanding of where they're coming from culturally. So from interviews, we learned that oftentimes there's a disconnect between the teachers and students. Yes, we will build a strong mentoring program in staff and students and utilize student input. Additionally, we're going to equip our staff with resources, PDs, and teach them how to have tough conversations and how to use SEL and empathetic listening. When we surveyed and spoke with staff, they also said they don't always know how to have these tough conversations. It's hard and people need training for this type of work. What we're going to do is connect one mentor with 2 students who will meet multiple times a month. We're going to also equip, this is kind of twofold, students or staff members with DEI and cultural competency resources. We've been talking to Inclusion Chicago to hold trainings on self-awareness, bias, privilege, communication, and microaggressions for our staff members. We also want the staff to know where the students are coming from. For example, we have students who may be working a job at night, so they're coming to school late. Or we have kids who are taking care of their siblings, so they also don't have time to do their homework. We want our staff to really understand that. We're going to measure success by just overall having good vibes in the hallways. We also, of course, want to see a decline in the number of African American and Latino folks who are off track. We're going to see an increase in grades and attendance. We're going to have a culture of joy and camaraderie through the hallway. People are going to be saying, what do their teachers? And then teachers are going to be more comfortable with SEL and talking about tough subjects. artifacts, we really like the check yourself tool because it makes you stop and think, who am I? What do I look like when I'm talking to the student? What does my background say about me? To just to have more understanding with them. And then we're going to use the funds to hold celebrations for our mentors and our mentees. We're going to have attendance competitions. We're going to have F to A's improvement award. So if you had an F and now you're getting a B or an A, you're going to get an award for that. We learned that all students have a voice and really need to listen to them building these programs out. And all staff need assistance too. And then we imagine a school where all students feel safe, supported, and included. No students off track. Everyone has post-secondary goals, and a school where staff and students have a close connection. And we want students to look back at high school and say, hey, high school is awesome. That was fun. I'm glad we did that. And I love my teachers. So that was that was my